My name is Peter Whitty. I'm the Dean of the Conservatory of Music and Dance at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. Part of what I do is make certain that the environment for about 530 students who are studying music and dance and 100 affiliated faculty and staff have a terrific environment in which to learn and that they're dedicated to the connection between arts and a thriving city. The challenge for the city is we remain interested in finding a constant stream of 18 to 35-year-olds who really energize and sustain the investments that we've made in downtown Kansas City thus far. Reaching back to 2000, I believe the figure is somewhere around $6 billion of investment downtown. So how do we sustain that? That's the question I think civic leaders are asking. How do we sustain downtown Kansas City for the next 50, 75 years? Well, what is the conservatory if not a constant stream of connected, dedicated, creative, artistic, committed people who will always be 18 to 35 years old. So if you turn our problem sideways, what we really are is a constant stream of 18 to 35-year-olds who are recruited nationally and internationally. What might be possible then if we nestle that population of creative people in a downtown environment that's clearly all in on the arts? The investment in the arts here in Kansas City, certainly in the last 5 years, has been astronomical by any measure. The Kaufman Center, the Bolender Center, what's happening at Crossroads, Sprint Center, all of these attributes that we have are world-class by any measure. This is an investment and a record of accomplishment that would make Los Angeles proud, would make Chicago proud, would make London proud. These are absolutely fantastic facilities. So the real connection point for all of these investments in facilities is the nature of the conversation and work that they create, right? The connections that we're able to make. And that's where we see the conservatory playing perhaps a unique role. We are able to connect and create density, I think, in this district, in the arts district specifically. That's a magic word for those of us who love and live and work in downtown. The current conversation that we're having is really focused on making certain that the students that we have have the appropriate space, appropriate practice rooms, appropriate rehearsal halls, appropriate studio space for their teachers, and classroom space for those things that are happening in the arts. And I frequently say what we're searching for is kitchen space to the Kaufman's dining room, where things are actually cooked up. And that's fairly specific space. So just as the Hospital Hill campus is very dedicated space, it's purpose-built. The spaces that we seek with a rehearsal room, with practice rooms, with dance studios, those again are fairly purpose-built. So at this point, and this is a big idea that we're talking about, our first step is to make certain that this arts campus is made a reality and serves both the students in our arts programs, but also really increases density in the arts district in ways that we hope will sustain both the Kaufman Center and its 3 resident organizations. The entire arts campus conversation that we had is actually a fairly significant project, a bold project, and we looked at that and said, okay, that looks to be maybe 25 years of investment. How do we break this up into sequenceable chunks that make sense? Because the conservatory is so constrained with its current space and because the quality of the space that we have, especially in those kitchen environments, is so tight, we decided that would be the first phase, this moving the conservatory through. If the second phase could be the repertory theater and also our theater programs, and the third phase could include KCUR and our film and communication studies program. So we really saw sort of 3 phases to this arts campus, but this is again a very long-term 20, 25, 30-year project that would unfold. And so because we saw the broad sweep of this, we wanted to make certain that we saw started looking at transportation issues and massing issues in terms of where we could put all of this. So we wanted to look at parcels in the community that might make sense for that broad scheme. So while what we are looking at is sort of a 3-chapter story, our immediate focus is on that chapter 1. In terms of growth, we see some limited growth for the conservatory, but doubling in size is not the mission of the conservatory. Becoming even more robust is really our energy. So in the arts, bigger is not always necessarily better. We see our enrollment target hovering around 620 students. We really shouldn't get much bigger than that. But it could be as many as so again, that would be about 620 students there, 120 staff and faculty, be it full-time and part-time. So you're looking at somewhere around 700 students or so who would come into that first, 700 people who would come into that first phase. The entire breadth of the program could be as large if phases 2 and 3, when they unfold. Certainly, I think numbers of 1,000 people coming in, working and studying downtown is a reasonable number, especially when you start to think of the audiences that could accrue to many of the events that we put on. It would be many times more than that.